I said it right today.
Hey, good job.
Yes, I know. I'm proud of myself. So, and today we have them, and they're going to be discussing the events that's going on, because one event that's going on is this coming Thursday, right?
Yeah.
And so they host like different events in different areas of DFW, where people sit on a panel that have businesses, and they kind of like express how they start and how their business is. And I went to one of them, and it was really good because it was different people, like a lawyer. Leah Frazier was there too as well, and it was like different other businesses, people that got started. So tell us a little bit about Afrostylicity.
Sure. So Afrostylicity is essentially a platform so it's a digital and influencer marketing platform that we focus on showcasing all things fashion, lifestyle, and travel. So any brands that fall into those three pillars,
Right.
we showcase their products and services. So essentially what it is, at this stage where we are right now, most people, like, before they make a purchase of a service or a product, they want to know, like, they want to read the reviews.
Right.
And a lot of times they want to hear reviews from people that they can connect with. So as opposed to back in the day when advertising was so far removed from the common person, right now what it is, people like us can advertise for big brands, and the audience can relate to us because we're just like them. So essentially, in a nutshell, that's what we do, marketing for
Different
different
businesses.
businesses.
That's good, because a lot of times some people don't know how to start up a business and where to start to. So, and then like some people get discouraged too, because I know some people that was on your panel.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly who it was, but I kind of remember the gist of it.
Mhm.
Like they were having they have a hard time to get it started.
Yeah.
Or they have a roadblock. So that was really good how they expressed what they did and how they overcame it and
Right.
went on. So y'all said that y'all just started like this year with
With the events.
With the events.
Yeah.
So so people always used to ask y'all like, how did y'all get started?
Yeah.
And so this will make y'all encourage and to start like different events. So
Right.
so far,
Exactly.
how it's been going for y'all?
Sure. So initially, we would receive a lot of questions from people
Mm-hmm.
to try to figure out how we were able to grow the business so well within 2.5 years.
Mhm.
And we thought to ourselves like, okay, all right, we love the community, we love to give back to the community, we're entrepreneurs, so let's go ahead and try to make this happen. But in that process, we figured out, okay, you know what, how about we take it up to the next level and think about local gems, business owners
Right.
who are making big moves, and kind of organize an event where we have these business owners who have already started a business, and they're getting really good results, they're really successful, and have them speak to an audience of, say, entrepreneurs who are kind of in the initial phase where they have an idea but they just don't know how to go about it yet, or an entrepreneur who already kicked off their idea, but they're just not they're just not moving at the velocity as they would want to move.
Right.
Or a business owner who's just trying to figure out how to take their business to the next level, since everything's changing, technology is disrupting different industries,
Yes.
and we all know what that that world's like. So we decided to go ahead and organize that event, and as you were there, it was a great event.
It really was.
So yeah, the main focus of it was to really just give back to the community, but more importantly, give the specific value that we don't get at different types of events. So how did you start your business? Why did you start it? What tools and resources did you leverage to kind of lift it up and also sustain the business? How did you go about having discussions with attorneys? How did you set up your website? How did you really, what process did you use to create this product or service and then take it out to the market?
And due to the fact that you were saying it, because I remember that guy, well, the Caucasian guy, he was a lawyer.
Lawyer, yeah,
yes,
yeah.
and
Tom.
he kept,
Tom.
yes,
Yeah.
Tom, and he kept on saying some of the funniest things that people would do, and
Yeah.
that's how I kind of remember him.
Yeah.
Like I remember his face, but I didn't remember his name. But I remember what he was saying, like how people never try to do it themselves with the lawyer. I mean, with the
without the lawyer.
Yes,
Yeah.
without the lawyer, and
Yeah.
then getting all these legal fees, and then then that's when everybody has to say, dang, I have to pay for all of this, because when I have noticed now, like getting started with myself, sometimes it's like better off doing it the right way the first time versus waiting down the line, and then you have to pay all this extra money
Exactly.
to versus just spend it up at front, because if you spend it up front, then you won't have to pay as much trying to clean up everything.
Exactly.
So for y'all businesses, what is like, because I know y'all have a separate business that y'all have too as well. Do y'all sell jewelry, or what do y'all do? Like travel, like?
No, we don't sell any products ourselves. We showcase other people, other brands, products and services. So it's the same business. It's just different categories of it. So the events, the events is just like I guess you could say different department.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So the main thing is just is the influencer and digital marketing for other brands. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was something else too. As well.
No,
I seen like a different. Because the only reason why I asked, it was another brand too, and they were like selling like jewelry, and they were selling.
So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So during the event, we had vendors there.
Right.
Yeah. So these vendors, essentially, what we wanted to do was to not only provide value to the audience that shows up, but to also give them opportunity to interact with different vendors, local business owners as well.
Okay.
So we had some people that were selling different types of products that were there, and I think that was an additional value that we saw that would improve the experience of the event.
It does improve it. Will y'all have different vendors at this one on Thursday?
So this one, we do have some sponsors. This is going to be more close-knit and focused on the event itself, and not too many vendors.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is just going to be a different flavor, because this time around, we want to be more hands-on. So after the event, that last event, the first series we had, I was surprised. I had people coming up to me like, "Hey, thank you so much.
For the
I really appreciate what you guys did. I didn't know how to start my business, but now I have a good idea of what I need to do. I know what tools and resources I can leverage, and from a marketing perspective, I'm definitely going to be getting in contact with you guys, because right now the industry is sleeping on influencer marketing, and a lot of big companies are waking up to the fact that, oh my goodness, you know what, influencer marketing is where it's at now. That's the channel that a lot of these corporate entities and small and mid-sized businesses are starting to figure out. Oh, you know what? If I want to get directly to my consumers, influencer marketing is the best way to do it, because we're essentially like the catalyst that connect the brands to the consumers.
You're right. And that's what people don't understand, like that social media is really...
It's real big. It's real big. It's real big.
Yeah, so if you don't, whatever you put out on social media, I hate to say, that's what people see you first versus in person.
That's true.
And so Leah Frazier is doing like an event like for LinkedIn, and she's like showing everybody how to get like involved into it, because nobody don't know how to work it, and it's so interesting because everybody would think that LinkedIn is for jobs. But no, it's for different, like it got big corporations on there. Yes. And so right now, why it's not like big as, I'm not saying it's not big as Facebook and Instagram, but why it's trying to develop, people need to start getting involved in that too as well.
Exactly.
So I'm trying to figure out how to do LinkedIn and then do Twitter too at the same time, but Twitter is kind of hard to me.
Yeah.
Twitter is like it's different. Like,
it is.
It's its own little, like, just working in it. I think it takes time to figure out how to really grow on it. And it's just a completely different ballgame.
and something that's really interesting, something that we recently rolled out, because we've had so many people that have reached out to us and said, hey, look, I want to market my business. I've been operating for X amount of years, but I just don't know how to do it. So we've decided to roll out a consultant option where, you know, people could actually go to our website, you know, Afrostylicity.com, and then just, you want to tell them exactly where the tab is?
Yeah, it's just under the book tab. So
Yeah.
you could just book a free call, and then we could strategize, figure out what it is your specific business needs are, where you are, because people are at different levels. There's some people who perhaps have a social media strategy, but it's not working as well as they want it to, and there's some people who just have no idea where to start.
Exactly.
So that free call is just to gauge where you are, and then we could develop a plan that's best suited to your specific needs.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so interesting. So basically, once they get online, if they wanted to, like, learn how to do social media, so basically they'll fill out, they say where they need help at.
So what it is, it's just to book a call, and then all this we'll discuss this over the phone.
Oh,
yeah, just because
okay.
sometimes it's difficult to express yourself well, like on a short form. So
Yeah.
that's why we're like, just use the form to schedule a call, and then we'll set a time where we could walk you through the process.
Or if you have a specific product or service you want us to showcase, we can do that as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So basically, what y'all do is help people start their help them enhance their businesses too as well. So after these people come to your events, like, do y'all keep in touch with them?
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
And so do y'all ask them how they're doing and what areas that they can improve in? Like, how do y'all go about it when after the event is after the event y'all reach out to them, or they reach out to y'all? Like, how do y'all do that follow up?
Well, it's individual specific. There's some people who they come and they make their own connections there. So like last time, Tom, the lawyer, he had a lot of people reach out to him after the event, because some of them were like, well, like what she said really struck a chord with me. I have a business running, but I haven't really like done all I need to do like legally as far as the paperwork and all that good stuff. So sometimes they'll reach out to whoever was on the panel directly, and sometimes we'll follow up with them, and if they need any direction, we'll provide that for them as well. So
he was really good. Y'all should invite him again. He will be there as a sponsor.
He'll be there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he'll be there as a sponsor.
He was so funny to me. He said
Yeah.
some of the funniest jokes to me.
He's personable, and I think the reason that he resonates with a lot of people is that he's approachable. Because sometimes people hear lawyer and they think of like stiff and boring and just all business, but he's real casual and makes you feel at ease. And he breaks things down to where it's not overwhelming, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So
And you can understand it and it clear. He didn't use all these big lawyer words.
Jargon, right?
Yeah.
He broke it down to where it made sense to where you can, okay, I do need help.
Exactly, right?
But,
in a jokingly way too,
Exactly.
because he was so funny to me.
He was.
Yeah, but most of the people that connect with us, the way they connect with us is Facebook, Instagram, on our website, and also by booking and just following up with us to connect with us and talk about how we can add value to their business.
Right.
Yeah.
Have y'all ever started like I never asked y'all, but I mean didn't ask this question when y'all first came in here, but have y'all ever just like wanted to start a book, like how to get started, like how to start your business and what areas that you need to go to first?
A book?
Yes.
It's something that we've talked about, but we haven't actually like seriously laid out the groundwork.
Yeah, we haven't really ironed it out yet.
Yeah,
because
because we're still learning too. So
Yeah.
like, you continue to learn, like whatever level you are. Like,
Right.
If you're not learning, then something's not right there. But yeah.
Well, that is true because the only reason why I'm asking because people they like come in person and then people like to read too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So like different people, I'm just throwing it out there for y'all. Like the people that come in there, that you can have like different areas in the book where they can tell where their expertise is. Like Tom, he's a
Mhm.
lawyer.
Yeah.
He could put that in the book as
That's
well.
a good idea.
See?
Yeah.
See, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm
We're
just
gonna
putting
have
it.
We have to shout you out in the book. Thank
Okay.
you very much for it.
Right.
Yes. You know,
Yeah.
like people need that reference to
That's
go
true.
back to afterwards.
You know, highlight.
Yes,
And,
Yeah.
and so like if you do like a Afro
Stylicity.
Stylicity book,
yeah.
Right.
how to start your business. Well, I'm just saying. So just throw
That's
it
a
out
good
there.
idea. Like that.
How to
Like
grow
that.
marketing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because y'all pretty big and everybody will really get to it, and then after the meetings or the events that y'all have,
Mhm.
people can reference to it, because I know like I'm a visual person
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and hands-on, and then I say, okay, let me start reading what I actually need to do, which
Right.
that's in my eyes that's kind of backwards. Sometimes you read first and then you start doing it, but I'm not that type of person that will learn, so I'm a person that I have to mess up or do hands-on first, and
Right.
then I understand how to do it, and then everything else that makes sense in the book or how to do like my audits and everything with my job, then
Right.
oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Then everything started rolling in place. So I was
I
just
hear
putting,
you. I
so
like
I'm
that.
just putting that out there
Makes
for
sense.
y'all.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what would y'all tell like people that get started with their business? What would you tell them to? How would you tell them to go about it? Like, what would you tell? What's the first step that you would tell them to do?
Well, the first step is to answer the most important question is like, what is your why?
Yep.
Like, why is it that you're starting this, and what are you hoping to accomplish? Because there are times when it gets really tough.
Mm-hmm.
So when you go back to that question and remind yourself why it is that you started, it will keep you on track. But if you're, so for us, the why was really wanting to connect brands to consumers, wanting to be that middle person. Well, not really middle person, but kind of the bridge
Yeah.
between brands and consumers. That was our why. And so even when things get tough, we're like, well, we're doing this. This is why we're doing this.
Right.
Yeah, so to start off and know what your intentions are. If money is the main focus, then honestly, you're going to get tired after a while and just call
Quit.
it quits.
Yeah.
Right.
So your why needs to be something more tangible than just money.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
So yeah,
So, like
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because people don't.
Purpose driven.
Yes.
It's got to be. Yeah.
I'll wait, because my mom and my uncle, I know this is off topic, but it's like every time you do something, like their health and stuff, like their high blood pressure and diabetes or what's going on with them, I have to tell my uncle, like, he's really smart and he's very goal oriented.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, what is your purpose, a reason why you want to get healthy?
Yeah.
What if you know that purpose, you won't give up, and you always know, okay, this is my purpose, this is why I'm here,
Exactly.
this is what I need to do to
Exactly.
make that goal happen.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was like, if you never know that purpose in life, then you're not gonna be bothered with it. It's not gonna be goal oriented for you.
Right.
So I just like know that purpose.
Yeah. And write it down.
Right.
Exactly.
Write it
That's
down.
what I was doing just a
Yeah.
minute ago when y'all
Right.
came in
Actually,
here.
Or type it up, right?
I am just like you. Like I
Yeah.
walk around the notebook
Right.
and I
Yeah.
write down, because sometimes you have these you have thoughts that if you don't write it down there and then you're gonna
Yeah.
forget about it. And that
Right.
could be like a
Idea.
game changing
Yeah.
idea, you know. So I always write down like.
Well, Miss Cheryl, I have to give her a shout out, because she's the one who started, like, do the 30-day, like in November, that started the 30-day gratitude, like what you're thankful for, what you want in that future,
Mhm.
what you want to happen. And so I'm gonna keep it up in December and keep it up, because I'm like, oh, this kind of, it does make you think positively about life and about yourself, and it sees where you're going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, okay.
And there's something about that brain to hand connection. Like when you write it down, I feel like you're more inclined to take the steps needed to make that a
Happen.
reality. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh. So that's what y'all do with Afrostylicity, right?
Yeah.
So after y'all finish with this first event, did y'all I know y'all analyze it, because I could tell the way y'all talk. I mean, the way y'all talked about certain things that I just brought up. So, did y'all feel like y'all needed to improve in certain areas after this event?
There's always room for improvement.
I know.
And, no one ever gets, something right the first time, perfect.
Right.
Right. So after the event, even though it was a huge success, we came together to think about how we could improve it.
Right.
Yeah. So we definitely thought about that, and that's something that's ingrained in our DNA with each and everything we do, not just from the events, but also from showcasing different brands and services. We're always thinking about, okay, how can we add more value? How can we improve what we do? How can we improve, our customer experience, client experience? How can we continuously add more value to our audience?
Right.
Yeah.
That's good because that y'all do that. So I have to ask a next question. What is y'all goal plan like for next year? Like doing these, I know keep on doing these events, but what is y'all goal?
So that's a really good question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I put?
So what I would tell you is, our main overarching goal is to improve what we do and how we do it. We've got different things that we're ironing through. I mean, essentially, this is what the last month.
I know, right? It's hard to
this year went by fast, very fast.
Right.
So
I think every year goes by fast if you ask me.
Yeah. So essentially, right now, I would say, from a high level perspective, it's about how can we add more value during the year 2019. Is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, essentially. In a nutshell. And then also just, so at the end of the year, like at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of this year, we had, like on the 1st actually, we had the whole day, we were just writing down what our goals were the first quarter of 2018. So we were very anal, so to speak, as far as like very detail oriented, and we are excessive, like we plan, and we like to review the goals that we set and see if we've met them, like what do we need to do to meet them, etc., etc. So as far as what the goals are for next year is to continue to positively impact any brand or any individual that we encounter. So essentially.
I have another question. Pull another.
No, bring them on. We love the questions. Bring them on.
So, if any person that wants to be involved in Afrostylicity, like their businesses, how can they reach you, or do y'all reach out to them? Like both ways?
Either or.
Yeah.
So, they can definitely reach out to us email-wise, info@afrostylicity.com, or you can Google us. You can look us up on Facebook. Instagram is where we're usually on. We have over 93,000 followers now, and still growing. 94,000.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That's big.
I think Instagram would be the best. Would be the best bet. So that way you could kind of see what we've done in the past and just gauge for yourself if we would be a good fit to work together.
Yeah.
So.
That's what I was gonna ask you. Like, do y'all have a criteria? Like,
no, it just has to be it has to be, of course, within the fashion, travel, and lifestyle sphere. And lifestyle is pretty much all encompassing. It'll be everything from places to eat to like gym life, so it's pretty broad.
Resort life.
Yeah, but we do vouch. We do. We research, like if brands do reach out, we like to research and make sure that their values are congruent with ours, and that it's a brand that our audience would be receptive to as well.
Yeah.
So
and something we genuinely like.
And something we genuinely like.
So go ahead.
Yeah, because we're not anything that we talk about on Afrostylicity is a product or a service that we have tried out and we genuinely like. Because it's as just to go back to what we talked about a few minutes ago. It's not about the money. Like anyone, because there's some brands that will approach you with like tons of money. Like, hey, could you promote this for us? But if it's not something that we could honestly speak about and
stand on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we won't do it.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, that's quite interesting because I was wondering that y'all had a criteria a little bit, but y'all do have a criteria,
Yeah.
but it just something that y'all want, like what y'all stand for and y'all mainly value.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I think that's what people lose too when they start marketing their business and themselves. They lose the value in who they are.
Mm-hmm.
The reason, that's why you're saying have that purpose
Exactly.
or have that why.
Why did you start this, right? Because the reputation, you could lose your reputation like this. So
Right.
If you're promoting something that is not legit,
Yeah.
the audience is going to lose trust in you.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Or negatively impacts people.
exactly.
Mhm.
So,
You know, biologically in the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have noticed that on Facebook, these little fake articles that be out there, and you be like, why y'all posting these fake
I know,
articles? Why y'all doing that? So I
Yep.
have to watch it because I be really like wanted to save them. I be saving them on my page so I can go back and look at it and read it. But
Yeah.
then people like, this is fake, so I have to start deleting every last one of them because I'm like, okay, I don't want to advertise that because
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want y'all thinking that I like the fake news and stuff. So I'm just like, okay, let me delete it. Let me read it first.
Right.
So I can understand that too because you as a person, your brand, people don't understand. People always talk about that.
Yeah.
Like it's very important, and what you put out is what people gonna receive, and then other people, if they like you, they're gonna give you a good compliment
Exactly.
and spread the word down. So y'all have 94,000 followers, right?
On Instagram.
On Instagram?
Over,
Yeah.
Oh, and so y'all word of mouth is really getting out there.
It is. And then plus, we've connected with a lot of because Dallas it's growing as far as the influencers.
Mm-hmm.
So like we go to networking events and we connect with other influencers, and that way like we get to know each other and
So people don't know that's pretty big too. Is networking, going to like events and stuff, and supporting other people
support.
too.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
people lose that too, because I'm like, you gotta support people. You gotta do this, even though if you don't want to do it, just do it because you want somebody to do it for you.
Exactly.
So I'm glad with your what you're doing, like helping people. Like this is, and people don't know like how will they get the ticket for this Thursday? Or
tickets are on Eventbrite.
Mm-hmm.
If you just look up DFW entrepreneurs, or to make it easier, you could just go on Facebook, the Afrostylicity page. The event is on there, so it's linked directly from Eventbrite.
Okay. So cause I asked y'all like how did like the Afro, how did y'all come up with it? Because it's so different and unique. And y'all had told me, because y'all, how did y'all come up? Because I want people to know.
Right.
How did y'all come up with that name?
Gotcha.
So, when deciding on the name, we wanted it to be something unique.
Right.
And also to really promote what we are, which is African.
Mm-hmm.
We're very passionate about. We're very proud to be African.
Right.
So whatever it is that we do, we always want people to know that this is what we're about.
Mm-hmm.
So that the Afro is short for African, and the stylicity is just really you inject style into whatever it is that we do. So essentially, that's how the name came up. But yeah.
Because I was like, that's very unique and different, and you don't find that name pretty.
It was created.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was good, so
thank you.
I like that.
She actually started it, by the way.
She did?
Yeah, Joy started it. Yeah.
Oh, Joy started it.
Yeah, it started out because I've always loved to write. So how it started out was just for a way for me to share my passion for all things fashion, lifestyle, travel. So I had a personal Instagram account, and I used to get a lot of questions from my friends on Instagram about, like, how did you get to travel so much? Like, where did you get that outfit from? All these questions. So I decided to start essentially when I thought about Afrostylicity, I thought it was just going to be like a blog or like a website where people could come and find all these answers to all these questions they had always been asking me about. But then about a month into the launch of the website, I got the first email from this brand. They are a watch company, and they sent an email essentially asking if they could send a watch, and if I liked it, if I could write about it and share it with my audience. So I got that email and I ignored it because I thought it was spam. I was like, who would be reaching out to me? Like, I just launched this. So they sent a follow-up. So when they sent the follow-up, I was like, well, so this is legit. So I responded and they sent me the free watch, and I actually happened to like it, and I wrote about it. The audience liked it. So I was like, wow, I'm onto something. And then that's just kind of how it grew into what it is now. So after that first campaign, it's kind of like a snowball effect. It's like that's what opened the gateway for more brands to start reaching out, and for me to feel confident enough to reach out to brands as well. So so that's the backstory of Afrostylicity.
Oh, so that's how it got started.
That's how it got started.
So do you still wear the watch?
I still, you know what, I should have worn it today. Yeah, it's actually it's a wooden watch. It's pretty unique. And I think that was a selling point to the audience. They're like, wow, we've never seen anything like this. This is pretty cool. And you say it's cool? Okay, then it must be. So it's pretty awesome how it started. If you had asked me 5 years ago that you could actually make or form these type of connections that we have with different brands and with consumers as well, I probably would not have believed you. So just how much social media has changed in the past 5 years is almost hard to believe, and it's continuing to evolve. So I'm just curious. I'm eager to see like what it's going to be like in the next 5 years.
Oh, it's going to be more advanced and too much, because it's just like, because kids right now to this day, my niece is like 10, and every electronic, she got a phone that she plays games with all the time.
Oh, wow.
I know. Then she wants an iPad, and I was like, do you got a job? So it's like this, like the technology is getting bigger and bigger, and I'm like, so what are you gonna do with this iPad? You're not just gonna play games on it.
Right.
You better work.
Right.
So I do think it's gonna be more advanced in 5 more years. So
probably even the next 2 years, like we'll be looking back and like, wow, how did we live with that?
Because even these iPhones right now, they're like pretty advanced themselves.
They are, right?
10, like 5, 6, 10, or whatever, and then you keep on downloading it, and then they got new features and stuff like this. I'm like, okay, y'all gonna mess up my phone. Trying to download too much, and so it only works after 2 years. I mean, stop working as good as it was the first year after 2 or 3 years, because you use it so much to do it. So I don't know, but yes, technology is gonna be pretty big. So what kind of role, like, I know like people go through like challenges, and what challenges have y'all came across, and how y'all overcame that?
You know, there are different types of challenges that we've encountered. I would say, you know, at times, you know, having to get brands to understand the value that, you know, we bring, as well as, you know, how we negotiate, you know, a mutually beneficial, you know, campaign. So, you know, at times I think that, you know, brands interact with, you know, other types of influencers that could potentially have a different, you know, way or process of how they manage their business. And when they actually interact with us, based on how professional we are, the quality that we bring, the consistency that we have, the clients that we've worked with, and the audience that we have that continuously grows, you know, it's a different type of conversation that's, you know, mutually beneficial. So at times, you know, we have to, you know, talk about how we can both, you know, land on a agreement that, you know, benefits both parties.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you can keep going because I was gonna tell y'all that I like y'all demeanor.
Okay.
It's very it is professional. I have to agree with it. Like I'm not saying that y'all wasn't professional, but I love y'all demeanor.
Thank
y'all
you
pretty
so much.
mellow.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
Appreciate the
y'all
feedback.
pretty y'all very personable. So I like that.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
So
Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, I was just gonna add on to what he said. There are brands that haven't quite understood how the whole influencer marketing works.
Exactly.
So, as far as challenges, there are some brands that think that by them providing you with a product, that is that counts as payment. So, like a brand would be like, "Hey, we'd like to send you this. Can you write about it, or can you post about it on social media?" And respectfully, like, product is not going to, it's not going to be as sufficient. It's not reimbursement. Like, so when you approach like a TV station, they're going to expect payment, right?
Right.
Some kind of compensation, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to create content that is great and is engaging, it requires a lot of time and labor, and a lot of energy goes into thinking about what the theme is going to be. So one of the challenges has been really getting certain brands to understand that there's a lot that goes into creating content that really resonates, that the audience can really relate to. So we're getting there. I think as influencer marketing continues to evolve and grow, I think it'll be understood that for you to collaborate with an influencer, that you're gonna have to compensate them accordingly. So
So it's like if you're interacting with an influencer that's, say, 5K or 10K versus interacting with an influencer that has like 90,000. It's a totally different kind of conversation because the audience is much bigger. The value you're getting is much better. The quality you're getting is much better. And on top of that, the intellectual feel that goes into the work as to building the content, staging it, everything.
True, but I don't want to like rain on anyone's parade as far as like just because you have 1,000 followers doesn't mean that you're not providing value.
True.
There are a lot of times that you may have 1,000 followers, but they're so engaged. Like if you tell them about this product, like they're like ready to buy it because they trust you and you formed that connection with them. Whereas there are some like people who have a larger amount of followers or audience, and they're not able to connect with them on that level. So I don't like to. I wouldn't want to discourage anyone. Really, just work on building your community, and just to go back to like once you know what your why is, you're gonna attract those people into your community anyway. So just work on really providing value, and don't worry about the numbers so much.
That's what this lady, Miss Cheryl, hate to keep mommy up, she gives good points and good about how to start your business and what you need to do for yourself. And she said about keep following you because that one person can be that person that can change your whole life. And so she said you can have like 5 people following you, but that one person you never know might like what you do and just blow you up.
And you can't be for everyone.
Right.
You need to figure out who your target audience is and really just hone in on that. And focus on that. So you can't be for. Not everyone's gonna like.
And it's good to start off small, right? Because if you fail, it's on a smaller scale, and you can stay really engaged with your audience, and you get a lot of feedback. That way, as you grow, you can continuously improve with a much smaller, base, and then you continuously improve, in a way that makes sense and is sustainable as well.
Right.
Yeah.
That is true. So I do like what you said, like how y'all said that, like to build it up, start small, and then who cares who's following you? Just work on how your target,
providing value.
And once you stand that ground and know who you are, then everything else will flow.
It will fall into place. Some people just get frustrated by how long it can take to really gain traction. So just keep at it.
And know your customer. You gotta know who your customer is.
Right.
And at times it's not just, oh yeah, I know this person's gonna buy it. No, you have to, take some time, sit down, get a book or laptop or computer, and truly define who your customer is. What's the age range?
Right.
Male or female? Where are they located?
What do they like to do?
Yeah. Why would they even want to do business with you?
Mm-hmm.
Right? What's the value that you're bringing? What's your unique value proposition that's totally different from whoever else is already doing what you're doing?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I like that because that's what she was saying. Like everything, you just don't know who's watching. You just don't know what people are doing, and you just have to know your why. That's the most important, and know your challenges. So, cause people in any field or whatever that they're going into with their business, would you tell them to know your challenges in that field of whatever they're trying to go to, or how would you tell them to because somebody told me to ask, me being in radio, they were saying what do people don't do in radio that can enhance your radio skills and things. So so what would you tell people to when they get started? Would you tell them what to go do their research?
The first thing is, if you can find a mentor, that's that's the ideal. I know it's not always possible. There's some fields that perhaps there's no one who's done what you're trying to do, but I'm pretty sure you can find someone that has done maybe similar things, like someone's on a level that you're trying to reach. So finding a mentor is really important because they'll guide you and really prevent you from making mistakes that they did. So that way you're saving yourself time as well, and also you're learning best practices. Find a mentor.
Find a mentor, and then after you know your why, just a couple of things. If you're trying to really start something, are you willing to wake up at 3 a.m. to do whatever it is that you want to do?
Right.
That's a really good question to ask yourself. Are you willing to wake up at 3 a.m. to do what it is that you're willing to do? And on top of that, what's the problem that you're solving? Usually it's much better when you're solving a problem, right? And then what's your solution? You have to truly define what your solution is. What is it that I'm going to be doing? What's this business going to be about? What are the real core competencies of this business? Am I selling products? If I'm going to be selling products, maybe I shouldn't sell 20 products in the beginning. Maybe I should start off small with 1 or 2 products, just to test the market, right? We already talked about defining who your customers are. If you're going into business with people, again, get a lawyer. Get a lawyer, After that, I would say, truly define, a roadmap of what it is that you're trying to do. If you're creating a product, you got to design it, you got to test it out. You got to get, customer feedback from it. And then after you get customer feedback from it, you're going to have to iterate and improve based on the feedback from your customer. You can't just design a product and say, hey, my customer's going to like this. And you haven't even heard from your customer.
Right.
Right? So through the whole design process, before you even build that prototype, you want to get feedback from your customer and say, hey, okay, you know what? Is this something you actually use? If it's something that you're actually going to use, how much are you going to pay for it? Or how much are you willing to pay for it? Right? Because then now you're thinking about pricing strategy. So there, I would say do the basic, make sure you cover your bases from a basic business perspective. And then, having a mentor is definitely good. Definitely good. Because then, you can potentially capitalize on not making rookie mistakes.
Oh. Yeah, and as far as finding a mentor, that's another question people ask, where do I even start? LinkedIn is great because you could do a search for whatever specific. Maybe you're trying to be a life coach. You just search on LinkedIn for different coaches that are in your area, and then just really putting yourself out there. And then also in-person networking events are great. I've met some amazing people at in-person networking events.
Got to.
Events like the one we're hosting, maybe there may be someone on the panel or someone in attendance that is doing what you're trying to do. So really you really have to put yourself out there and be proactive about making things happen.
Yeah, no doubt
Yeah.
about that. Because when you think about, like, you know, our parents, you know, when they were trying to start a business, it was much harder than us trying to start a business now. Because we have so many tools and resources that are, you know, at our use, or just, you know, at our disposable time, at any time. You know, we have all these smartphones. Parents didn't have smartphones.
Right.
We have social media networks.
Internet.
You know, back in the day, you know, if you wanted to try to research something, you had to go to the library. You know, some people don't even know what encyclopedias are or Britannicas,
Or an
you know,
atlas,
or
right?
an atlas, right? So it's like you have so many tools, and you know, digital networking is great, but just like Joy mentioned, you know, nothing beats in-person networking, because when you meet that person, you can actually get to know that person. And then I always tell people, you know, like, you know, if you're trying to start a business and there's a financial component of the business and you're not good in finance, that's not your strong suit, you could go to a networking event, you could meet someone who's great at finance. Now you can go ahead and, you know, ask, build that relationship, leverage that person's, you know, skills to go ahead and see how, you know, they can kind of benefit or add value to what you're doing, and you can learn from that. And then before you know it, you've moved the needle, you know, much further than where you were financially. Now you have a better understanding of finance, you know, based on your interaction with that person. You can even take it even further and deepen that relationship.
Right.
Yeah.
That is so true, because to be honest with you, I might be on social media all the time, but I hate social media. and I hate, because I don't know how to. I don't relate really well. That's not my communication. My strength.
Gotcha.
So my strength is very in person, because I can talk your ear off. I can get to know you. I can ask so many questions that I need to ask to get to know who you are as a person. But if I ask you over that social media, man, I'm going to lose you.
Yeah.
I'll be trying to say, okay, I'm going to work on this. I'm going to really work on the social media part. Because then sometimes people can be so good in social media, but when you meet them in person,
right,
they're like,
That's so true.
Yeah.
what is going on?
Yeah, right.
I was like, I met you on social media. You was really in, and you know, people say your first impression is always your last impression of that person. So I try not to put too much out there so they won't get nothing bad about me, because I'm really not a social media person. So once you meet me, you be like, oh, hey. And then we can change numbers. We can, the texting is not my forte either. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm doing so bad with this networking stuff. But I do love coming to the events versus the social media and versus anything else, because I'm a people's person.
Gotcha.
But look at it as a tool, you know. I know you just mentioned that, you know, meet someone online and meet them in person, totally different.
Right.
I think it's good to, you know, like Joy mentioned earlier, you know, if you're trying to find a mentor, you know, look for that kind of person that's doing what you're doing, and then just say, hey, look, my name is so, and I'm trying to do this. I'd love to take you out to coffee or lunch, just to learn a little bit more about, you know, what you do. And just see what they say. What's the worst that they can say? No? Go to another person, right?
See, that's what my auntie tells me all the time. She was like, the worst thing somebody could do is tell you no. And you have to put your fear to the side sometimes. And people don't understand that. If you put your fear to the side, you'd be able, those doors are open for you.
Right.
And so many ways that you'd be like, dang.
Yeah.
But that's how I am when it comes to certain stuff. If I really want it, so the only thing that I say, okay, the worst thing you can say is no.
Exactly.
So if you go in there with that type of attitude that they're gonna say yes, then 9 out of 10 they're gonna say yes to you.
Yeah, you got to put out that positivity in the universe. Because you got to remember, fear is just a false experience appearing real.
Right.
That's all it is. False experience appearing real. So, you know, if people are gonna say no, of course, but there are gonna be people out there that are gonna say yes. So you just have to find them.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then when I came across too, it's like people been in the business for so long, so they kind of adapt to like people's personality.
Yeah.
So they already know like who's real and who's not, and I get that all the time because they sit there and sometimes some people they ignore you first, and then if you keep on. Okay, you're not gonna ignore me no more. Then that's when they start talking to you. So some people they already know they've been in the business. They know who's out there just to be doing it like you saying. Like watch your brands, don't your value. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So they already know that. So sometimes when I meet people, they be like, "Oh, hey," and then they kind of standoffish, and then I was like, I need to talk to you.
Right.
Come over here right now. So
Yeah.
I'm that type of person. Like, I'm not afraid to
You're
demand.
persistent. That's good.
That's
That's
good.
good. You have to be
Yes.
assertive.
I'm like, I hate to be ignored, because that's one thing people, if they get ignored or somebody don't pay them no attention, some people will stop because that's a little fear right there.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You're going to listen to me.
Yeah.
And then some people just don't know how to network.
Right.
You know, so at times, you know, what we encourage people to do when they come to our events, just talk to people.
Right.
Just talk to them, because everyone's here for the same reason.
Right.
Just talk to them. Just see what they do. You know, even if it's not anything aligned with what you're trying to do business wise, still a good connection, because you never know who knows who. Because like we're in an age where it's not about what you know, it's also about who you know.
Yeah.
So that person could know someone that could be a huge gem towards unlocking or taking your business to the next level.
Right.
Yeah.
I wish somebody would have told me this when I got my degree. Like, networking was pretty big, because if I would have known that, what I know now, I'm like, dang, I could have opened me a business a long time ago with this little networking, get it going and everything. Because I love talking to people and getting things going. So, and I also, people too, when they come to y'all, because you got to know your strength and you got to know your weaknesses.
Yeah.
So how would you tell people to work on their weaknesses too? Because I have learned over the years that your strength, that's common sense, but people don't understand that. If you know your strength and you know your weaknesses, you can be able to maneuver yourself the way you need to get what you want.
Right.
So a lot of times some people don't know that. And have y'all had, like, because I don't know how to ask this question, but I know some people being on the panel, like, telling their stories and stuff, and telling their weaknesses, telling their strengths, and how would you, because some people, they start a business and they don't know that about themselves. So what would you tell them to go, how would you tell them to go find out what their strength and what their weakness is?
I would say, like, just be open to putting yourself out there to other people, and have other people, another set of eyes look at what it is that you're trying to do. Because sometimes we have blinders on, and we're not really seeing, like, our business, which some of us refer to as our baby, as what it really is. So another set of eyes, and you have to be careful about who you ask to just review, because not everyone is going to provide you with constructive criticism. So I would say look for someone who you trust would have the ability to provide you with guidance that will be beneficial to you. So this is where a mentor will come in. So they'll be able to just give you the, because family sometimes will, like, kind of pacify.
Soft-code it.
Yeah, they'll be like, this is, like, sugar-coated. But, like, a mentor will tell you as it is. Like, they'll tell you straight up, this direction you're taking it's not going to work out. Like, you probably need to evaluate and maybe consider going in this direction, or whatever the case is. So just don't be afraid to have somebody else really just give you the truth as it is.
And be true to yourself, right? Just sometimes you just have to do some self-reflection and ask yourself, what am I good at? And you could just put it on a piece of paper, write down all the things that you're good at, and then from deductive reasoning, you already know what you're not good at.
Right.
So now, if you do know what your weaknesses are, what are you going to do about them, right? Why not just create a plan on how you can, improve on your weaknesses? I would say it should be smart, right? It's got to be simple, measurable, attainable, got to be results driven, and it's got to be timely. So if you know what your weaknesses are, create a plan to improve on your weaknesses.
Right.
But yeah, you got to be, you definitely have to self-evaluate to know what your strong points are and what your weak points are. And then certainly, like Joyce said, you got to have people that really truly love you. Really can say, hey, you know what? You suck at this. This is not working out for me. This is not your strong point.
Like my producer telling me I can't sing.
Exactly.
Yeah, telling me, shut up.
Right. So and you have like Joyce said, you have to be able to take constructive feedback.
Right.
Because that's how you really drive the whole initiative of continuous improvement.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all get good advice today, and I what do you? So how do people can find Afrostylicity, right?
Right.
Where can they find y'all on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter? Do y'all have a Snap? No.
Who's on Snapchat now? I don't think anyone's on Snapchat anymore. But no, so Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, it's all Afrostylicity. So AFROSTYLICITY.
Mm-hmm.
All across the board on LinkedIn as individuals.
Yeah. And our website, www.afrostylicity.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The easiest way to really get in contact with us, the easiest and quickest way,
It's an email.
is Instagram, email, and our website.
Right.
I would say Instagram. So that you can scroll through and just see and kind of get a feel of who we are. I mean, I know they listen to us, but it's until you kind of see us in different environments, you get a feel of who we are and what we're about. So I always direct people to the Instagram.
Yeah.
Start there.
Start there.
And then you could email us from there and go on the website from there. So
absolutely. So if you have a product or service you want to showcase, or if you have questions about how you should start your business, or if you're already operating and you don't have a digital footprint, or you do and you're just not engaging with potential customers or loyal customers, and you want to go ahead and you see the light, you're like, okay, social media is the way to go, definitely book us. We'll have the initial call with you and we'll be able to figure out tailor the best way to improve your marketing needs based on your needs and expectations.
Right.
Yeah.
And then also to tell everybody again
about
the event.
Oh yeah, so the event itself, you can just Google DFW Entrepreneurs, the Business Series 2. It'll pop up. It's actually on the 6th of December. We essentially do have 4 panelists. The premise of this upcoming event, it's similar like last event, but we're going to take it to another level. What we want to do is we really want to get or extract as much valuable information for the audience, who are entrepreneurs and business owners in different stages, and ensure that they can actually understand the information from a simple perspective and put it into practicality. I think that's one of the most important things, because one of the main reasons that we knew that this would be a hit for us is because a lot of people, we've always heard I went to this event, but I'm just hearing the same old. But now what we did was, okay, we want to make sure you could take the information that you're hearing and put it into practicality. So, besides what we talked about as far as how they started a business, what challenges that they've encountered, how they overcame those challenges, and what tools and resources they use to go ahead and lift up the business and keep driving the business. I'll say some of the topics in addition to that we're going to be covering: startup insights. The truth about entrepreneurship. I think that that's very important, because a lot of us we see the glitz and glamour of entrepreneurship, but in reality, it's a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work. It's kind of like the whole duck in a pond effect, where you see the duck just cruising on top of the water, but beneath the surface of the water, the duck is kicking, doing a lot of hard work. So we're going to have Pitch Perfect, and we know that a lot of people need a little bit more insight on how to pitch. Business successes and failures, like I mentioned. Branding. Branding is very important, like Joy alluded to earlier. I can't stress how much branding is, because basically, if you negatively impact your brand, it's very hard to kind of bounce back from that.
Right.
It's really easy to hurt your brand. It's much harder to bounce back from it. So we're going to be covering social media and influencer marketing, leveraging co-working resources. So we're going to be at Venture X. They just recently opened at the across from the Galleria area. Really nice office. Great space for people to get out there to do any kind of business needs and business technology and future of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, and then everyone who comes gets swag bags.
Oh yeah, free food and drinks.
And free food and drinks.
Yeah.
Oh, free food and drinks?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Kind of like last time.
Everybody likes free food and free drinks.
Yeah.
So thank y'all for coming today.
Thanks for having us.
Y'all really gave good information. I love I love this interview today.
Hey.
So
Hopefully
He's back.
Yeah, hopefully you guys invite us back. We'll have to come back.
So y'all very impersonable. I like y'all demeanor. I like how y'all came in here professionally. It was calm, and it made it much so easier for me to get all the questions that I need to ask out.
Cool.
And did y'all want to say one last thing to everybody before we go, or y'all already did?
Just remember your why.
Yeah, remember your why. If you want to start a business, do it. It's not going to be an easy road, but just remember your why and stick to it.
Okay, everybody, remember that why. Y'all heard what he said. The purpose of reason why you starting your business, the reason why you're starting a business, and your value.
Yeah.
So, everybody, this is DFWiRadio.com and Trace Universe. Bye.
Bye.